Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, wherever you are in the world. So, first of all, I want to start by saying very happy New Year. Here's to 2022. Yes, I know it's February, but this is the life of the writer. A little bit day late, dollar short on everything. So, wanted to just jump on here very quickly and just kind of share a few goodies and updates. I've had a few people ask me over the past few months, and also email and such, what's going on. 'Cause, from the middle part of December through most of January, for all intents and purposes, I kind of disappeared for a little while. So, for that being said, for starters, I got a little bit of the flu. Not COVID or anything like that, but just a quick bit of the regular standard flu. So that knocked me out of commission for a little bit. But in my downtime, I was able to actually catch up on my reading list. So, with that being said, obviously, it goes without saying, as you can tell with the shirt and everything else, you know, one of my favorite bands of all time, next to Kiss and a few others, are, of course, Iron Maiden. And a little bit of some fun trivia for you, which is going to tie into my next update. When I was initially working on the fantasy series that became The Legend of Graham How to Claire, actually, five of Maiden's albums became the influence for at least 70% of the stories within the legend. So, and if you look really closely in the book wise, of course, not the screenplay, which is a work in progress, you can even find a few subtle notes and nuances, be it both in terminology of a description, and also as well times too a little tad bit on a title reference too. So kind of killed a few birds with one stone and gave my typical salute and nod to the creators and the writers and things like that. So without further ado, let me go ahead and jump into what I've been reading. And again, no surprise. If you're new to my page and everything else, I do want to say, before you jumping into the comments section, first and foremost, I'm an author, I'm a script writer, and also a Titanic historian. So I've got three different hats that I wear. So understandably, sometimes items that I'll share or discuss or talk about are usually I've already been a previous subject on other channels and other news networks as well too. So just go easy on the comments. I don't always have a chance to be as outwardly social in the real world as others could. That's all. So anyhow, yes, it's a couple years later because the book's been out for a while, but I have finally read Bruce Dickinson's autobiography. And I can say this much. The man is definitely one hell of a storyteller. Obviously, this is not a paid endorsement or anything like that. This is just a fan and a writer acknowledging another creative individual. So I would highly recommend it, especially if you want to see what what life is like within the rock and roll circuit, and literally how to rise above the obstacles, including even overcoming cancer too. So covers a lot of really good details, really, really fantastic, and in a lot of ways very inspiring too. And of course, very typical. It has a small dash of the good bit of the humor as well added in between too. So that being said, on the writing front, so this year I'm going to be working on a couple of projects. For starters, I have a anthology that I am kind of working on. It's in the very, very ultra basic foundation levels with my good friend and colleague Alan McNeil, fellow author over in the Edinburgh area. And that's going to be a tribute to the Hammer horror films. So, get ready to see both established as well as up and coming authors paying homage to the studios in the tentatively titled Let's Get Hammered. Other than that, I do have a few goodies with Legend of Graham How to Claire coming into play. Right now, I do have all of the books converted into screenplay format. So, going to possibly look into the means of doing some shopping around and things like that. See what happens, and test the bigger waters of the ocean, as they say. But in the midst of having all the books ready, I do have 2 bonus goodies in the works as well too. One is actually going to show exactly how much of an influence my passion for history, mythology, and literature went into the series. And all I got to say is if you're fans of John Lennon, and of course, in particular, the song Imagine, because it's been played enough times, most of us know it for many generations, I decided to kind of play around with his opening lines. So in this case, this is going to be a story that picks up and kind of connects the dots full circle, but it also happens and it transpires in a world where there's no religion, there's no leadership, there's no full form of a kingdom or any type of political structure. But at the end of the day, there's still a world that's in transition, that requires change, that requires a foundation. So that's where that part steps into play. Can't say the rest because that's going to add a few spoilers, and I'd much rather wait for you to see the finished product. So, also in the works as well too. Again, just kind of so far just all preliminary stuff because we're still early in the year. There is going to be fairly good possibility. It's going to depend on how many friends I can pull together the rest of the way, but I might actually venture into taking the next big leap altogether and putting out also as well too one of my own short pieces. And it's going to be a black comedy, very, very dark, very twisted, but what do you expect? I grew up on The Twilight Zone, Benny Hill, Monty Python, Night Gallery, so it's going to be warped, but fun, I promise. But yes, other than that, those are some of the 2 bigger updates that I do have to share with everybody. Otherwise, again, if you're new to the page, welcome. I do try to post content and updates when possible, but otherwise, I do like to share random goodies and tidbits along the way. And definitely, everybody, thank you so much for the time. And here's to a new and prosperous venture. And, for those who celebrate being February, happy Valentine's Day. I'll be back soon with any other updates. And yes, I do have more interviews along the way, but that will be coming up in a later broadcast once I get everything confirmed. So enjoy the day, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you all again.